Hello everyone, in today's video we'll talk about the optimal client and user interface settings. By setting your key bindings and the interface right, you'll elevate your performance. What's more, you will not have to use the pro configurations when your level of skill will let you play on a pro or semi-pro team. We'll start setting your interface based on the default configuration because most of pro players use the default settings with minimal changes to them. So let's start with the basics and set your hotkeys. Key bindings. Begin with the button's placement. Most of the pros have their skills locked to the Q to R keys, but some of them prefer using 1 to 4 or A to F. It's not very important, so set your keys based on what you're used to. Trinkets and items button placement should be based on your personal preference. Place them in such a way that you could reach them with one hand. Then you can see a checkbox titled Replace Quick Cast with Quick Cast with Indicator in the Quick Bind UI. This is called Smart Cast with Indicator. Here is an important piece of advice. Try to forget how to play with the Smart Cast indicator. Playing most champions, you might cast too late and miss the target completely. This is specifically true in the moments when you have to cast multiple skills over a short amount of time. You may use the indicator if you are new to the game, but turn it off as soon as possible. You should know your skills range and width by heart. So let's talk about playing without using the Smart Casts. Such an option is highly unwanted. You'll need lots of time to click on a skill, aim with it, and click once more to use it. There is a small percentage of pro players who do not use the Smart Cast, but the statistics say that most of the pros use Smart Cast without the indicator instead. Ideally, you've got to enable the Smart Cast on all of your skills and items, and add an option of pressing Shift plus skill / item. This way, you'll be able to hold Shift if you need to see the skill's range. Do not forget about the self-cast. By pressing Alt plus skill, you cast it on yourself. This way may come in handy when playing as Oriana and needing to return the ball to yourself. Remember that you may upgrade your skill by using the control plus skill combination. It is important in the lane. Say you've just got level 6. Learn the ultimate with this combination and use it instantly instead of unlocking it with a mouse and wasting too much time. Pay attention to the attack move mechanics. Almost all of the League of Legends marksmen do damage with either A or X. If you attack the enemy champions with the right clicks, there is a chance of missing and clicking next to the enemy's in-game model. This mistake will result in your champion heading towards the enemy, and it may be fatal in teamfights. By using A or X, you won't be able to make such a mistake. Last but not least, browse through a client's options and learn what else you can change and optimize. Video. There is a couple of things in video settings that might be useful. Let's start with screen resolution. Usually it resembles your monitor's native resolution, but some of the pro players lower it while keeping the aspect ratio unchanged. This way, it takes you less time to move the cursor from one side of the screen to another. What's more, it's easier to concentrate on a certain area of the screen than constantly drag your eyes across it. Try experimenting with it, but don't worry too much in case you don't succeed playing at low resolution. The colorblind mode is very useful. First of all, it makes your HP bar yellow while your teammates' bars are blue. In a teamfight, finding yellow among blue is much easier than finding green. The ability to locate yourself quickly is important for ranged champions who use skill shots or interact with the environment, for example Syndra. Finding a melee champion might be rather easy, but locating Syndra and her balls is challenging. In her case, each millisecond matters. Choosing the screen mode. Choose either full screen or windowed full screen. Full screen is an option for less powerful PCs, it consumes less RAM. Windowed full screen requires more RAM, but lets you navigate between windows more freely, which is important in case you want to check the internet for some analytics on your enemies or your champion while loading the game. When setting video quality, guide yourself with one rule. There must be no lag, delay or freeze, especially in teamfights. If your PC lets you do so, set everything to the maximum. However, if you see the slightest FPS drops, lower the settings. The smoothness of the game is much more important than its visual beauty. The first thing you should deal with when facing FPS drops is shadows. Many players simply turn them off. Now, should you play with the lowest graphical settings like the pros? Well, we believe that you should not do it if you are new to the game. Professionals lower their settings to focus on champions' actions and positions. New players need to focus on effects, which can be missed out if you use low graphical settings. Audio. There is not much to tell about the audio settings. Make sure to turn off the in-game music. Not the sound in general, but the musical theme. If you want to play at a competitive level, you'll need to disable it because music doesn't give you any useful information. What's more, it distracts you and sometimes even makes you miss useful information from your teammates. Interface. There are two opinions on the interface sizing. One says that it needs to be as small as possible so you can control more space on the map and less screen gets obstructed by the UI. The other, however, says that UI needs to be big so that you can see your skill cooldown times with peripheral sight. Both of these approaches have different efficiency for different champions. Udyr, for example, needs to see a bigger part of the map, while Rise needs to keep an eye on his cooldown times. You've got to find what's optimal for you. You may watch some League of Legends streams to see how the streamers play. Do not make the UI very small instantly, reduce its size over time. The cursor, chat and minimap scale doesn't need to be small. You might miss some important information. Once again, it is very individual. Just make sure that you can see all the information in the game. It is better to hide the summoners' names. All they do is distract you from the champion's skill, especially if you have already faced these enemies before. What's more, they obstruct your screen. Do not forget to enable the timer and mana cost in the chat. The timer is necessary for us to calculate the cooldowns of your teammates and enemies. Your ally may say 30 seconds until the ultimate, but who knows when this 30 seconds started? Enabling mana cost is important to know whether you have enough mana for a combination of skills or not. This is an extremely important option. The cooldown time is better when set in minutes plus seconds format. It's easier than converting seconds into minutes. You won't tell your teammates 93 seconds until the ultimate, you'll tell them 1.5 minutes until the ultimate instead. Provide information in a less complex format, it saves you time. And in League of Legends, each second matters. Other interface settings are individual. The general chat irritates some players so they turn it off, while others prefer to talk with summoners so they keep it. Gameplay. It is better to turn off the move camera on revive. In some situations, you'll need to teleport right after reviving. However, the camera moving to your champion right after they spawn might steal precious seconds from you, as you'll need to scroll it to the place where you want to go. You should pick the attack move on cursor checkbox as well. In case of a misclick on the enemy champion, you'll need to attack near the cursor and not near your champion. And last but not least, set the target only champion setting on toggle. This option comes in handy in tower dives or teamfights because holding down one button is rather difficult. Alright, now we have discussed your configuration and I've given you some advice. We hope that it will help you improve your League of Legends performance. And most importantly, we hope that you won't need to learn to play the right way all over again. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching this video and good luck in your solo queue.